All right, what's good, y'all? Hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. I am your host, Marcus B. As always, I am with my boy, Evan Simmons.
What's good?
Oh, that's a different mic. All right. Slowly getting you better equipment. This is episode 6? 7. 7. This is episode 7 of Holla at Your Boy. And today it was just one of the chill episodes with me and Evan sitting down talking about, we briefly touched on professionalism in our career, education, and this overarching theme of things we wish we would have learned or paid attention to while we are in college. As always, if you like what we're doing, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all things social media, so that we can get all the latest updates on the newest episodes. Be easy. Enjoy. What do you mean by community?
like having a community of people like around you. Like some people like it, some people don't. Some people thrive in it. Some people.
So I mean, the conversation between introverts, extroverts, and whoever else in the middle.
That whole personality thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Or we can do it for a later episode. And just
I mean, it's similar on the conversation. I think we kind of touched on just the differences in quarantine.
Yeah. We did talk about that in there. Okay,
But
never mind.
I mean, I'm interested in what you're getting at.
I don't know. Like, I just like feel like with that, some people have these. I don't know. Like for me, like I thrive in like isolation.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people, they kind of want, not need in like a bad way, but like need in like a positive way. They need a community.
Yeah, they need people around them to
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the, I don't know how to talk about that for very long, but.
I mean, it's. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some psychology behind it for sure.
Yeah.
That I don't think either of us are qualified to talk
Right.
about. But I mean, as far as feelings go, it's if I would explain my side of it, it's because I definitely do need. Like, I think I'm an introvert in. Like how I recharge my energy,
No, same.
but I am extroverted in the sense of. A lot of my justification in life comes from being around people.
Oh, okay.
So like that's why like I enjoy doing like when I was cooking, I enjoyed doing the prep work cuz it like that catered to my OCD side.
Right.
But I enjoyed cooking in the kitchen with 8 other dudes.
Right.
Or girls, doesn't matter. I enjoyed that a little bit more than I would the prep cook.
I see.
As opposed to you, who I imagine like you could probably cut potatoes for 10 hours.
Yeah, like mise en place is like my favorite thing like,
Yeah.
ever. Like I just love getting stuff in place and just kind of like great, like it's ready to go. Like I'd rather do that than do the actual cooking part of it or the cleaning part of it. Like
For sure.
I like to chop stuff and get it ready and like. I mean, like to me, I like a process. This is why I'm such a control freak. I feel like in the band world, it's because I like to have a setup that's like ready to go. Like a good.
Don't get me wrong. That's why I said like I'm in this weird plane of like it feeds my OCD,
Right.
and that's what I need as well.
Right.
Like I need organization. I need like. This goes here.
Right.
And only here. Stop moving it. Get in your spot. That's where you're supposed to be. So just
Right.
be there, damn it. But also
your
like,
dot's right there. Stay on your dot, please.
But also like I need time to like step away from stuff like that. Just because I maybe it's because I just realized that like the OCD could overtake like my entirety,
Yeah.
and then like I would just hyper focus on one thing and I wouldn't be able to hop off it.
I see that. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to talk about or talk to like have that like wider perspective of like talking to other people.
Yeah.
And like like you would just be so focused on like
maybe that kind of lends to my like I don't have an addictive personality.
I see.
Maybe that's what is saving me.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Well, like that's funny because I feel like I do have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
Like this is probably a problem, but I for the last like, how long has it been? It's been at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Chick-fil-A in the morning for breakfast, I get the exact same thing.
Really?
I get 2 chicken biscuits and a large vanilla iced coffee. Like I literally get the same thing, and like most of the school time, that's what I get that same thing every single day.
That's a bit much.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about my. Maybe it's just like the process. Like I don't like. Well, I mean, like me, I kind of feel like not to equate myself to like Mark Zuckerberg, but his whole thing of like he wears the same clothes. every day.
So that way he doesn't think about it.
Right.
I think there's sorry, my headphones were falling off. There's definitely a give and take in that, and I think it's just like that. If you have, and I don't know how to explain it because I don't have that. What did I just say? The personality trait. The
like the extrovertedness or
no. Oh my goodness. Not OCD, the addictive personality.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't have it, like that's one of the few things I don't know how to explain. Because like I can just quit anything, but also I like not thinking about what food I'm eating that day. I like knowing that I'm gonna wake up at 4. I'll be at the gym by 4:30.
Right.
I'm done by 6. At school by 6:30. My day is set up. I eat the same breakfast, same lunch. Like
yeah.
And to me, that's in the Jocko Willink Bible of discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
So because I don't have to worry about all those things and I know exactly what I'm going to do every single day and what I'm going to do at what time, I don't have to think about these excess stuff.
Right.
My judgment isn't clouded by like, what should I have for lunch today? I had Chinese yesterday. I guess I could go. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, I'm going to have a salad with 7 ounces of chicken in it.
Right, because I measure that like
prepped it.
On Sunday. That's what I mean, to me, that's the idea of, like, I like to think of it like when people say think outside the box.
Yeah.
But they don't know what the box is.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
To me, like, that's what doing those things that, like, are called, like, disciplines or whatever you want to call them, things that we do, like, every day, they tend to create a box for us to operate in and or think outside of it. That way we can be more creative and have those creative freedoms because we're not worried about, like, what am I going to wear today?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, I'm going to wear the same thing. Like, you know me.
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely... And I know I got a couple of points knocked on my professionalism because again, on the OCD side of things, if I'm going to wear a collared shirt, it needs to be iron and pressed. Like military style. Because that's what I grew up doing.
Yeah,
like,
you're talking like...
my dad taught me how to iron, and he would iron his dress blues.
Right.
So it's like, oh, that's how you iron a shirt. So now every shirt that has a collar on it needs to be ironed like that. And if it's not, I physically cannot put it on. I've tried leaving the house.
You just can't.
And I get to the door. I'm like, and I've like mild like mental block, and I'm like, I'm gonna be because oftentimes what happens is like, it's what OCD do I choose?
Right. Which
am I gonna be late, or am I gonna have an iron shirt?
Yeah.
So then I just took the iron shirt out the equation.
Right.
Throw a hoodie on, straight.
I see.
So yeah, I don't. It's
I mean, like that thing is that's confusing. Like that's that's so confusing to because every day is like you have to make these choices every day. It's like, are you gonna make the choice of being late and ironing the shirt?
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna be like, I'm just gonna wear what I want to wear and I'm gonna be on time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And in my head, I wrapped around them like, to me, professionalism lies in punctuality.
Right.
Like, I can still be professional and be in a tank top.
Right.
Obviously, I won't at school. I'll do it for band camp because it's hot.
Yeah.
Get out of here with all that. You need to wear a collared shirt. Come on, bro. It's just band.
Yeah, I mean, we can, professionalism. How do you feel about, how do you feel about, well, I don't know if we should talk about
I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and I stand by my feelings. Like, if I know I'm going to be, I qualify professionalism in a different manner than I think what is supposed to be qualified as an educator. Because during college, I was very much like, oh, I'm a teacher. I'm going to wear a button-up and tie every single day.
Right.
But then I saw kids that wore button-up and ties every single day and sucked at teaching.
Right.
And I was like, oh, no, you just need to be able to teach.
Well, I mean, to me, because I was definitely, and I realized this after, I think it was this year. Yeah. I finally realized this. I would wear the same, dry cleaned, button-up shirt with a tie, and I wore that for the longest time. And then when I started teaching, my first year, I took off the tie and loosened up a little bit. And then when I finally found these shirts that I really liked, that were they're a little bit looser, they're a little bit more casual. And then I found some good pants that were some nice khakis, and I found some shoes that they looked okay.
Yeah.
I was I realized if I wore that, for some reason, I don't know why, I felt like I was more relaxed, and the kids responded to it.
Yeah, that's a super real thing, man.
They responded to the idea of, this guy's just a person. He's not wearing any airs. He's not, putting on the tie and stuff like that. Because I can put on a tie and put on a show.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if you've actually ever seen my closet. Again, my OCD takes the best of me, and it is color coordinated.
Oh boy.
It is organized to where it's I got jerseys, polos, band polos.
Yeah.
Short sleeved button ups, short sleeve polos, sweaters, suits, designed long sleeves, so I got little foxes or something like that on it, and that's color coordinated. And then plain colored button ups, color coordinated all the way against the wall.
How many do you have?
I have.
How many articles of clothing?
I've got 7 different gray button ups.
Oh.
And just kind of go from there.
That gave me.
And I've got well over 60 different ties.
Oh. Dude, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I have it very much in me. I love.
Right. You could.
I love dressing well.
You could. Yeah, you could do the whole.
And if I have the time and I feel like I have the reason, bro, 3-piece suited up, dress the nines, killing it, and I'm mad comfy in it too.
Right.
I'm not one of those people that's man, as soon as I'm done, I've popped.
No, yeah.
After performances, a lot of times I'll just keep.
Yeah, it's
also because I got to properly fit it.
Right.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a tailored suit that, because I got my first tailored suit at the end of college. Yeah, I was
it's a good time to get it. It's different, bro. It hits different.
This is good. It looks better. It feels better.
Yeah, you feel better.
But I only have one suit.
Yeah.
So, well, no, I have 2 now. I have a gray one and a black one.
I mean, that's what you need.
Yeah.
I have more than that because I'm eccentric and super extra.
Oh, man.
And I just don't, and again, because, I guess I decided that teaching and my like physical and mental health
Yeah.
mattered a little bit more than my presentiveness, if you will.
Your presentation, yeah.
Yeah, my presentation. I decided those things were more important, so I'm like, all right, I could wake up at 5, iron all my things out, press
Right.
everything, and do all that, or I could wake up at 4:30 and go get in a nice workout,
Right.
so that way I feel good and my mental side of things is clear because all I'm focusing on is lifting that weight,
Right.
and then I just throw on a Henley because it's professional enough, you know what I
Right.
mean? And like I said, I don't think, like you said, you don't like. There's a different vibe that goes to it, and some people will say that's what you need, but I don't know. Maybe it's just our kids.
Yeah, I mean, like our kids definitely. I think they respond to like you not trying to put on like airs.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's not what they see. That's not what I mean.
They're not gonna listen to you because you have
a tie on.
a tie, and a
Yeah.
tie clip.
Yeah, that doesn't make you any better or any like more intelligent.
You remind them. You probably have some they have a negative connotation probably.
Oh yeah.
With dudes and ties.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Like whether it be super dark, CPS.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, bank loaners.
Yeah.
Just like stuff like that, where it's like it negatively affected their family.
We also I also had the experience. Weirdly enough, the first time we had a concert and I wore my suit. I also had some kids saying I was a preacher.
That too.
There's also that connotation.
Yeah. Which is a positive one.
Yeah,
for the most part.
But it's also they like put more. That's more of a presentational. Like you're doing more like big public speaking.
Yeah, and so it's 1 time a week, 2 times a week,
right?
Maybe, so they can take that in those short bits.
Yeah, but every day.
Every day, it just seems
right.
Maybe it loses its
allure.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, this is something that I've been because I for years and years and years had a really high expectation of I was supposed to like we were talking about always wearing a tie and stuff like that, and loosening up more and more to where finally I started all right, I'm gonna wear this performance polo. Yeah. I'm gonna wear just casual khakis and kind of bring it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think we're taught in college in order to get that job, you gotta
look good.
You gotta put that on.
Yeah. And again, for the interview, that's professionalism to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm sitting down with my superintendent, my fine arts director, my principal, yeah, okay,
right.
But on a normal day,
don't. Yeah, don't.
I'm not doing that for the kids. I'm doing that for the people ahead, on top of me.
Yeah. So they know what you at your most professional look like.
Because because again, they equate the professional attire with being good at your job.
Right.
And I mean, we both, even not even in education, just I used to cook with a girl at the last bar I cooked at, who had a culinary degree.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We're at a bar and grill. And she has a culinary degree.
She has the degree.
Yeah. And then she stuck her hand in a fryer while she was cleaning it, and then ran it under water immediately.
That culinary degree did not.
You know what I mean? She has that sheet of paper, so theoretically she should be a better cook than me. She wasn't.
Right.
She had less kitchen experience than I did. She knew less things like shorthands. Because again, I mean, she was taught all the right things. Mad knife skills. When she was doing,
she could julienne in.
Yeah, dude. When she was doing the pico de gallo, it was perfect.
Perfect
dude.
dice.
Mine was 2 though. You know what I mean? It's so I maybe not even from a young age. I just slowly started realizing that just because you check all the boxes don't mean you check all the boxes.
Right. Because it's that thing of like skills versus knowledge. Like you can have the degrees and have like all of the, have all the accolades and things like that. But until you actually like, people that have 3 degrees that go, they start teaching, probably might be a little bit better than the first year teacher. But maybe a little bit. But like the same person, the same age, like imagine someone, I guess our age, like getting like getting their doctorate, like in like whatever they get their doctorate, and then they actually go out into school. Do you think they're gonna have an easier, like someone who we've been teaching for 2 years now?
Yeah.
Someone who's gotten their master's in the last 2 years, they go teach now.
Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna be a better teacher?
Us.
Yeah.
All day.
Right, because we actually have the skills for teaching.
Yeah.
Now we've now granted, like skills aren't like grade A. Like
don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm much better than that teacher, but 3 years is 3 years in the book,
right,
compared to like even just the 2 years in the book. Like
right.
I'm gonna be a little bit better than you because I've dealt with a little bit more things than you.
Right.
And because the books you read for all your classes can tell you all the things, like like a kid might tell you to shut up, then what should you do?
Right.
And I know what the textbook definition of what to do is.
De-escalate. Use that.
Yeah. I don't do that. But I still manage to handle the situation
right
as effective.
So I mean, the question is like, because I think this was like a topic we were thinking about talking about. You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's like? I mean, I think I have a thing, but like, do you have anything like immediately? It's like,
I mean, like the fun ones is like, they don't teach you how to pronounce names.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did they teach you how to pronounce names at UNT?
No, I just had so the school that I teched at.
Yeah.
But it was a majority, and not a majority, like Asian.
Well, yeah, you had the Asian culture, so you
like,
understand how to pronounce like the Asian names. But I'm talking about like, not even how to pronounce names, but what to do, how to approach a name if you don't know how to pronounce it. Because I definitely said a girl had a fake name once when I was teaching elementary.
Oh.
Yeah. And in my defense, it was like the first day like of that class, right? So we were just like checking, like we were doing the roll. It's like, this is your spot on the carpet. This is where you sit every single day. Little baby first grader.
Right.
The classes before, like like how a lot of Hispanic kids will have like a long first name,
right,
like Guillermo Hernandez Ibarra. Like they'll have the hyphened last name. So that happened a couple times, and it was last name first and then first name, and so like the last name would kind of bleed in, but it would chop some letters off. So I was like, so it'd be like Guillermo Hernandez Iba.
Yeah, I see.
And so you're just like, what is that name? So I get to this girl, and I thought she had a long last name, and I thought it bled into the first name, but no. The girl, and I was like, oh, Miss, I forget my CT's name at the time. I was like, oh, I think it happened again where the name isn't typed out correctly. And she's like, oh, let me check the list. And she looks at it, she's like, nope, that's Absidy. And I was like, what? Yeah, the little girl's name was ABCDE. And I was like, surely that's not a real name. I thought that was a joke on Facebook. Turns out it wasn't. And the girl gave me dagger eyes.
I see.
For the next week.
I won't rant on this one. But to me, like, names are so like important.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I'm the person that like, I'm gonna remember your name.
Yeah,
Sorry.
This weird
remember
Rain Man
my entire first grade class.
That blows my
first
mind.
and last names.
don't even remember where I went to first grade.
Don't know why I remember those names, but for some reason, like, names for me, I mean, granted, do I know where I park most places? Like if I'm parked there, I don't remember where I parked. It just happens that way. But to me, like, names, like, I always take my time when I'm doing names, and I also fall into the problem of, like, if there's like a Hispanic kid, I'll try to say their name the way, like, they would hear it, like, in their language,
the proper articulation,
right? Yeah, the
pronunciation, not articulation. Sorry, I'm still in Spanish.
Hey, it's articulation. Yeah, it's all
technically right.
Yeah, it's consonants and the vowels. So the articulation's the consonants.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that to me, that's like super. That's super important, like, it's one of those things that people don't like you said, in college, they don't tell you, like, hey, you're gonna see some names.
Yeah.
Take your time with them.
Yeah, don't try to just rush through them. Right,
like, if they could really just tell you, like, hey, and also some people have problems with, like, accents and, like, I remember I had one kid when I was student teaching, like, his name was short, but it wasn't. His name wasn't short. He had a really short name, but it was hard to pronounce, like because it wasn't in English.
Yeah.
But I had to kind of figure out, like, after a while of reading it and, like, understanding it, how to pronounce that name. So, like, to me, it's just one of those things where it's a process, and like, you know, you have to in that moment sort of, like, understand where they're coming from too, because there's also like, I mean, granted, it's that first grader that like, she's just looking at you like, it's my name. Say it right, please. I guess.
And I wasn't making fun of her name. I was making fun of her parents.
Right. Well,
for giving her that name. Like.
Well, I mean, I don't want to. That was gonna be my rant. It was gonna be about names that are impossible to pronounce, or
they're the worst.
Apparently, us millennials are doing that.
They're
now.
The worst.
We're doing too much.
No, I know what I plan on naming my kids. Mad simple. Not too much guessing. It's gonna be a little bit, you know, like, I'm not gonna name him Steve.
No,
because
you punch Steve.
Yeah, I want to punch Steve.
You don't punch Steve, but you.
But you know, it's a really basic name, like Steve, Josh, Alex. Like, I've got friends with all those names, but I'm just like, man, like
Jason.
Like, that's a really basic name. Like, I on the same token, I want to name my kids like a tradition, not a traditional sounds weird, but like a Latin specific name.
Right.
Like, I like the name Guillermo. Like, but I also acknowledge that a lot of white folk can't say that the first time out the gate.
They say G-U-I, and they're like Goo.
Guillermo. The best case scenario is Guillermo.
Yeah.
So I acknowledge that, but, like, you know, kids name the parents name their kids Absidy.
Right. Because I mean, it's one of those things where, like,
I can't even think of the other
like,
bad ones.
In the moment, like, I always, like, have this thing of, you know, when you're holding your baby, like, when you're holding it for the first time, I'm sure those names sound great.
Yes.
I'm sure they sound great. Like, but you gotta picture them walking across the stage at high school graduation.
Yeah.
Say that name out loud through a microphone, and if it sounds like anyone could say it, all right.
Or if anybody can make fun of it, don't.
I mean,
don't make your kid's life harder than it needs to be.
You can make fun of a lot of names. You can make fun. Well, my name's kind of impossible to make fun of.
Mine just gets pronounced incorrectly all the time.
How do people mispronounce Marcus?
Sorry, they misspell it. They mispronounce the last name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Spelling.
It's funny. The spelling is dependent on which ethnicity they think I am.
Ah.
Yeah. That's
I see.
fun. So if they think I'm like Mexican, it's like COS.
Yeah.
And then if they just think if they think I'm just kind of like regular native, it's like CUS. They think I'm black, QUIS. I'm like,
Marquise.
Not quite, dog. That's but I mean, so aside from, like, name stuff, what else?
So my
issues.
So, I guess if we're gonna keep it like specific to, like, away from, because I could do a whole podcast episode of like like episode on musical stuff.
Yeah.
But the one big thing I think they don't teach you is, and I did a little bit of this, was planning goals for like an ensemble or for like whatever program you have.
Yeah.
I did a little like this was one of the coolest projects we had with that same professor who did the whole Walmart application. Same professor. We did
so rough.
We did a 5-year budget project where you had to do
Nice.
your school's capital outlay budget for 5 years.
We didn't do a 5-year budget project, but we started at a new school. So it's like, what would you spend
Right.
a brand new school budget on out the gate?
And to me, like I feel like doing that was more valuable than anything I did in my entire like collegiate career. Like actually doing stuff that was like, all right, here's like, you know, they call it like practical solutions. Like here's a practical solution to what you're going to do. Actually do like like, you know, plan out how this is going to go.
Because I mean, I didn't think about money until then, because I mean I'd been teaching a lot, but I was teaching in, you know, these schools that were really old, so they already had a lot of stuff, and then their budget was really thin, so it was like, do we really need it, or can we get by with this?
Yeah, can we stretch this a little bit longer? I mean, that's a thing I've had to deal with, like coming from Allen and Frisco, and then coming down here, because I was kind of used to, if we needed a new tuba,
you were able to afford it,
right?
Like right then and there.
Like when I left the school I was student teaching at, the middle school, I think we got like 2 or 3 new, it might have been 4, a bunch of new Miraphone tubas, like middle school. Yeah.
Why?
Because they want to make like honor bands, and I think they have the possibility of doing that. It was just one of those things of like, well, because the tubas that we had were. They weren't
trash.
Yeah, they weren't like for the quality of music that Miss Davis, Rachel Davis at Pioneer Heritage, the quality of music she wanted to play.
Yeah.
The instruments were not at that level.
Gotcha. So I mean, if you're truly one of those bands that can compete for those honor bands,
right?
You probably also have some budget to back you up, but
yeah, I mean, like to me, it's just but kind of like, but just the idea of having the ability like during college to plan out what your band program might look like. I wish there was like an entire like class on that of like, hey, all right, you do your budget project, you do your, hey, if you want to play this repertoire in 5 years, what are the steps you're gonna have to take to do that? I saw that at a TMEA clinic. They
that'd be cool.
This guy, he wanted to play, I think you said like a Lincolnshire or something like that in like 5 years.
Some stock,
something stock like rep. hard band rep. So he like planned out like, all right, the year before that, what's the UAL program I need to look like in order to be able to get to that level? Yeah. Year before that, what does it look like? Year before that, what does it look like? Year before that, and then you're like at that next year.
Yeah, and that's a weird level of planning that you need to do, because you also like
you also need to react to the ensemble that you have.
To react to the ensemble, and then you're anticipating that you're going to have 8th graders
right
that will be learning all the things that you need them to be able to do in order to play Lincolnshire.
And now granted, I think that plan, it'd be like really upsetting if that plan was like to go to next year. I totally just remember that. Like, that would have been bad if they missed out on like this last year of like, all right, we're finally
the world shuts down for a little bit and you just don't get a UIL.
Yeah, you don't get a UIL. None of the if they have it, like if you're not like us and you compete really early for UIL, if you compete it later, none of your band kids, 7th and 8th graders, are going to have gone to UIL.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Super rough.
That's going to be intense.
It's going to be very intense.
Did you imagine sight reading with kids that have never sight read before? an entire band of kids that have never sang it before. Like,
That's terrifying.
I mean, granted, I'm doing that this next year.
Yeah, you're gonna be going through that.
I got all
let me know how that goes. I'm gonna be going through that partially because my band is made up of mostly now 9th graders and 10th grade. So
yeah,
neither of them.
Well,
actually, I guess the 8th graders.
Yeah,
The 8th graders did. Yeah,
they did.
Okay, so I lucked out there.
Yeah, they should be.
But then they also just took 6 months off.
Right. Yeah, they took 6 months off, no instruments.
So,
and also, I mean, with that, there's also the idea of talking about COVID and all that stuff. I don't think they taught us how to rebuild like fundamentals. I think at UNT they really didn't. Not to drag on UNT, but it was a very performance based school.
Speaking from our experience, man,
right.
I don't know what UNT did. You don't know what Texas State did. Neither of us know what UTSA is doing.
Right.
So I mean, you speak on what you know.
Right.
And I mean, we've talked about this. I think it was you.
Yeah.
They focused really hard on being good at middle school.
Right.
And y'all focused really hard on being good at high school.
Right.
Yeah. And probably the same logic. Like, you're probably going to go teach high school. And they told us that you're probably going to go get middle school, or you're going to get a third band at the high school. So it's going to be similar repertoire, and you're going to need to do the exact same thing. And probably for you, like, UNT's got that strong stamp, and most performers.
Yeah, I think the plan for most, I wouldn't say the plan for most, but the idea of leaving UNT is a lot of like we do 3 years. We're required to do 3 years of marching band for the educational experience of it. Like, it's a big thing that you have to, you should have high school in mind whenever you leave the school. But recently I found out that they started doing like studying grade 1s, 2s, and 3s.
Really?
Kind of like
it's
actually
good,
like studying the repertoire.
It's important, man. Because I studied it and I still don't know anything. Well, that's a lie. I studied the 1s and 2s, and then I get this third band in the high school.
You got 3s,
and I'm doing 3s and 4s. I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know that rep. That's stressful.
I mean, like, I can do a whole thing on rep.
Dude, I know nothing of rep, and it's really, really not good.
Did you guys have like a rep class?
We had a band lit class, yeah.
Okay.
And shout out to Dr. Glazer. Love that guy. He just made sure we knew, like, band.
I see.
So, like, your whole first suite, second suite.
You gotta know your Granger.
Your Granger, your fast car and a slow. No, what is it?
A fast trip. No, what is it called?
What is that piece called?
You're talking about the John Adams piece.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I listen to this thing all the time. Fast trip and
it's a fast something and a small something.
Short ride in a fast machine.
Short ride in a fast machine. There you go.
I was like, how does that work?
Stuff like that.
Right.
Boom. Like, all these really, like, that's band. Like,
you need to know that.
No, you as an educator should know what the epitome of your music is.
Right. Which
is super dope.
So I have a funny story about, like, so we had the option of taking a band lit class.
Okay.
Or you could take Wisconsin Symphonic lit, then they had orchestral lit.
Interesting.
And they also had history of jazz. So, of course, I decided to go ahead and take history of jazz.
Yeah, of course, naturally.
Here's the thing, though. But we get the textbook, and, like, granted, the course wasn't the textbook exactly.
Yeah.
But we had to read the textbook. Turns out, the year before, like, I didn't even know I was going to take history of jazz. The year before, I had gotten the book. It was just called History of Jazz. I got it in Barnes & Noble, and I read
the entire thing.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's rough. So then you just take a class on a book that you already know?
So when I got to the class, he was like, so this is our textbook? We're going to be reading the whole thing? I was like...
Well, damn.
I mean, like, no, granted, we did a lot of really cool things. A lot of... we had to do some, like... We had to pull these audio recordings and, like, we had to analyze them and put them... we had to put marks on them.
Yeah.
And, like, hey, like, this is where the first chorus begins. Here's where they put this enclosures in there, or like you had to kind of like study like how that jazz worked. How that jazz worked. But yeah, I mean that was I feel like that was kind of it wasn't a waste of a class because I am definitely able to teach jazz history a lot better now because I took it, but also like I missed out on the band lit class.
The band lit side of things, yeah.
And now, granted, I haven't taught grade above a grade 1.
So as of right now, you didn't miss out on too much because you're the main jazz guy at the middle school, and you're teaching grade 1s. So it's like, I think that class was really fulfilling as a performer.
Yeah.
Where I'm at teaching right now, not fulfilling the knowledge that I need.
Yeah.
And that, that's nothing to take away Dr. Glazer. Like I think 10 times out of 10 I would take that class as it was, but because we also had the supplementation of our band methods class where Dr. Cavett did go over those grade 1s and grade 2s. Right? She just had a binder full of them. She was like, here. And then that's what we did a lot of our teaching assignments out of.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we would teach one of those grade 1s, grade 2s, which again, it's like, okay, so then what problems? Yeah. That's what helped me out, because then it's like, what problems do I need to look for in this grade 1? Right. All right, you got the split entrance. The trumpets are gonna have the same thing as the clarinets, right, and all that stuff, and so that was really helpful. So that's why I don't think I missed out on taking that band lit class. Like, I still have that list of all those pieces. I'm like, damn, one day, like I was really close to doing. I planned on doing for the spring concert this year with the wind ensemble. Give Us This Day, the first movement. Wow. Yeah, and I was so pumped for it. Such a difficult piece. We're just gonna do the first movement for the sake of time. Right. But like I had the band for it. Like I had that full low brass section that was just like cool. Got after it. Yeah, and then strong clarinet section, strong, like the entire band was just nails. Right. And I was like, dope. Like I took the knowledge from Cavett and I get to do the fun from Glazer. That's the goal. But I'm not going to get, like, I was fortunate enough for Brent, to give me the opportunity to be in front of his band that I don't think a lot of third band directors would get.
Oh, yeah. There was also that, like, you don't get to do that stuff. You don't get to do that stuff that, like, hard, like, you know, your first suites and your give us this days until you become a head band director. And
15 years down.
Right.
So it's.
I mean that's one thing I like. I think the part that really stuck out to me was when you said there was a missing connection between Cavett's class and Glazer's class. Like that they didn't say like Cavett's class builds up to. Yeah. And to me that's another thing that's kind of missing. At least in my education, everything felt very disjunct and kind of just like separated. Like it was
you're doing this because you're doing this,
right? Because you're in this class right now. It's not like, hey, you need to like you're a freshman. Yeah, you need to learn all the grade 1s. Like, could you imagine your freshman year? They were like, hey, here's a list of 200 grade 1s. Just listen to one every day. You'll be done with the freshman year. Yeah. And like, you know,
dude, just little stuff like that for sure, dude. Yeah. All our education classes were really set up like that, but a lot of the the woodwind methods, brass methods, the band methods, band lit, like they were all really close knit together, but like because they were so closely knit, I missed the connection from the theory to those classes. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Because I took theory first. Like theory 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after I'm done with all those junior year, I get to take the woodwind methods and the brass methods 1s.
So you
Okay.
you didn't get that experience.
So like I was just doing theory. I was like, okay, they told me to do theory. Let's learn some chords. All right, now we're learning matrices. That's foolish.
Yeah.
All right, now let's learn how to make a sound on trumpet.
Right.
I was supposed to pay attention in theory. Damn it.
You know, here's what would have been a really cool, and I like recommend any like freshman in like college do this. This would be so cool. Take your freshman theory assignments and write them for like you got like your freshman like 4-part.
Yeah.
Write it for a brass chorale, and then write all your tuning tendencies down for that. Could you imagine if we had done that?
Oh Jesus. Imagine if I just cared about all my theory assignments.
Or like you know like how to teach
Yeah.
like that simple thing, and then eventually you build up to the like hard theory stuff, and it all kind of like makes sense to where like that stuff wouldn't be like hard anymore. Like you understand it both theoretically and pedagogically.
Yeah, and that's the part is that I get it pedagogically,
Right.
But because I kind of just blew off beforehand, I didn't get it theoretically.
You don't know how to find that chord and be like, what's the tuning tendency there?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I know, like I can see that that's E flat 7.
Right.
Cool. I don't know what that means, but I know that's an E flat 7 chord.
You don't know that like playing the D on top with on flute is gonna be sharp.
Yeah, exactly. Like just those little nuance things in,
Right.
And imagine if, like we're saying things that we wish we had known, wish we'd learned, things they didn't teach us.
Yeah.
Like, and again, at what point, like if they taught us everything, how long would we actually be in school?
Yeah, I mean, I've often like thought of that as like how long could college actually be if you actually if we treated like band education like vocational education.
Yeah.
Like, all right, here's where you're gonna need to actually know for grade 3s, like instead of like taking classes on like music history pre 1750 and learning about Salieri and lutes and stuff.
Gregorian chants, my jam, bro. Don't hate on them Gregorian.
I'm not hating on them. I just like I haven't taught. Now, granted, I want to do a piece called Dorian Chant next year.
Of course you do.
Well, it's a great one. It's great, man.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That just sounds silly though.
Yeah, it's just it's concert B flat up, like literally like just up, just starting on C. Just cool. All right, we're in Dorian now.
Here we
We're
go.
just gonna do
Dorian.
You're going up to G now. Yeah,
That's pretty cool though. That sounds pretty neat.
But yeah, like I just feel like they, I feel like personally, I feel like I had a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
In college, because if I had actually like applied all my piano stuff and like actually like from the very beginning was like, all right, I'm gonna do aural skills and piano, and then I'm gonna arrange this for brass.
Yeah.
Arrange it for woodwinds.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work you could do as a, I mean, not only as a college student, I feel like I can do that now.
Yeah.
Like on the weekend, like, hey, all right, take this short like little brass chorale or like something short like from one of my pieces of music and be like, I'm gonna study this, I'm gonna learn how it goes, and maybe that's just score study, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Shoot, honestly, that's what it is, and
Right.
I'm terrible at score study.
Oh yeah, like I don't know. I mean, my biggest problem is that, and of course I'm bragging again. Like my biggest problem is that I'm a good conductor.
Yeah.
So, whenever like I got on the podium, I was just like, all right, cool. Let's see what's up here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't need to know that like what instruments or have this accent. I'm like, oh, I see there's a big old thing right there. Boom.
Yeah.
That section's over there. Like, I mean, that happened to me last year for one of the middle school region bands.
Okay.
The clinician, I couldn't figure out the word for that.
Gotcha.
The clinician, he wanted to kind of step into the audience, and I happened to be in the room, so he was like, "Hey, Evan, come up here for a second."
That's pretty dope.
I was like, "Thank you, Paul Fellows."
Shout out Paul Fellows.
Best experience of my life was getting to stand in front of a region, because I was like, "Man, I want to do this in a couple of years."
Yeah. Dude.
But that first, I was like, "Hi, kids. I'm a band director here in Temple. Let's get to it. here you go, and take a breath and go. But like it was, I don't know if that like that I can do like in the moment because they had already learned the music.
Yeah.
So like I can do
Yeah.
that all day, but I can't. I don't know if I could teach it to that level, or if I could like if I knew the score that well to be able to teach like the parts that well. I don't think I could do it that as good as they had gotten. I don't think I could have gotten them to that point.
And you know, like like we're saying, and just if there was just a little bit more of those connections,
Yeah.
it would be nice. Because exactly like that, like you take your theory one project and you study that, figure out the tendencies.
Yeah.
Okay, then you take your theory 2 project, it's a little bit beefier, a little bit thicker, and then eventually, you know, you get to your conducting class, and it's like, hey, here's a 8-bar score.
Here's a score, like
full score, but 8 bars. Now just take what you did freshman year,
right,
and just do that, and there's just more of it.
Right.
So, and you know, who knows? Maybe we're just both dumb and we missed that day of class where they did tell us to do that.
I don't even I legit don't, because we had to take all of our before we got into our upper level music education classes.
Yeah.
We had to take all of our methods classes.
All the methods classes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Then what was your upper levels then?
It was kind of the it was mostly like conducting.
Really?
If I well, that was how I felt about it. It was mostly like just getting on the podium and just like.
All of ours were the methods courses.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, string methods and percussion methods were the 2 undergraduate ones. But then.
So wait, what were you guys doing? Like the first first couple of years, what were you guys doing?
It was theory, oral, piano.
Lessons and
and
ensembles.
Music
history courses or
history was upper level. You had to take you had to take like a
that like prehistory
music
course,
literature.
Yeah,
not band lit. It was like music literature, and that was usually your sophomore year, and then you got into history junior year.
Yeah, that was kind of how. I mean, yeah, we had kind of like that, and we but we could also like my first semester I took, biggest regret of my life. I took woodwind methods my first semester of college.
Really? That blows my mind, dude.
And the thing is, I had only played flute prior to I played saxophone, of course, but I only doubled on flute prior to that. So it was just like, and then my TF was also it was taught by a TF. It wasn't so the TF is a performance major that's just like I gotta teach a class. So I talked to him. He was a saxophone player. He was like, "Cool, I just want to work on your doubles." I ended up taking flute and clarinet lessons like in later years. I was like, why did I even waste that semester? I could have been learning oboe and bassoon.
For sure.
Rather than
wait, that wasn't separate?
No.
Oh my god, dude, that blows my mind. It's so weird. Like, I mean, getting to talk to you about these things, I would like to get, you know, like maybe throw like 2 other dudes in the ring and just trade. Like, all right, what did you guys do? Because we had 2 woodwind classes, and it was high reed, low reed. So we did, was it flute, oboe, and clarinet, saxophone?
So you did like a
was that it?
It was probably if you that'd be weird to do like a saxophone and bassoon class.
Yeah,
I feel like
so it was flute and double reeds.
Flute and double reed, and then a single reed class,
and then a single reed class.
Right.
Yeah, and the majority of the semester was spent on either flute and clarinet, and then the back end was like, it's straight up. I remember them telling us like, just get a bassoon teacher.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's...
and then they're like, here's kind of day 1 on oboe.
Right.
But yeah, like it was like 7 weeks on flute, 7 weeks on clarinet, 4 weeks on the other ones. Like it's like saxophone. Yeah, same thing.
It's actually
Make sure the reed's straight.
That instrument is so easy.
Yeah. So did you have 2 or no?
No.
Really? So just one woodwind method class?
Yeah. The way it worked is if you were a woodwind player, you had to take one. If you were a brass player, you had to take 1 brass methods.
Really? Oh, dude, they didn't care.
Really?
Yeah, they made you. Usually it would be like, if you were like a clarinet player,
Yeah.
you just spent the entire semester on saxophone.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, if you had any prior experience, even if on doubling,
Yeah.
You'd get in trouble if you didn't tell them about it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because it's like, you shouldn't be this good.
Right.
Why are you good at clarinet? Played clarinet freshman year. Ah,
I see. No.
stupid. Go get a saxophone.
I mean, see, that's kind of how my methods class went that semester was. I picked up clarinet, and like that was the first instrument I played. I was like, all right, cool. This is just like saxophone. So I kind of picked it up quickly. Did you have to take percussion methods?
Did have to take percussion methods, yeah.
What was that like for you? Was it beneficial, or was it just kind of like?
There was things here and there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was like a little bit more geared towards like the band folk learning how to percussion.
Yeah.
And they were still trying to figure it out when I took it. Like, they're trying to figure out the curriculum. I think they've since like kind of really set it to where it's like a portion of it is on like percussion history.
Yeah. That would have been good.
Yeah.
We kind of missed out on that.
I missed out on that as well. That because at that time that was a performance class, was like percussion pedagogy, like was like a separate thing, and that only performance majors could take. So we didn't get to do any like the percussion history, and a lot of it was just like, this is timpani, this is how you tune timpani, this is the range of timpani, this is a marimba, this is the range of a marimba, this is how you play marimba. So it was just like a kind of check back into technique, but it wasn't super kind of like it wasn't to the level of the brass methods and the woodwind methods, and they have since like kind of like
changed that,
realized that, and they're like, oh yeah, like you should know percussion as well as you do flute and stuff, which is really dope. I just missed out on that, unfortunately. But I'm glad I missed out on it as opposed to somebody else, because like I know a lot of the cats that I graduate with, they're just like, dude, I barely remember what they told me, because that was an undergraduate course as well.
Right.
So, I bet. Do you remember Piano 1?
Well, so I had because I knew I was going to be a music major.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, when I was a senior, so I decided to take piano lessons. I took like really.
That's pretty dope. Smart move.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good, because I when I got to the audition thing or whatever they had, I don't know if you guys had like a test you could do. So I tested out a Piano 1. Now, granted, wasn't that good at piano.
Just barely kind of scaped
by.
Yeah.
Man. He asked me to play an A major scale. I could get it out. So he was like, "All right, cool. You passed the Piano 1 test."
Jeez, that's it. God dang.
Well, no, there was he had me like play some other chords and stuff like that.
Just play A major. All right.
But I mean, like, come on, like that's kind of like,
that's pretty true.
Yeah.
If I remember what I remember from piano, and that, that's another class that I wish I took a little bit more seriously.
Right.
Because you get on that harmony director, and you're trying to like play chords, and I'm fortunate enough to where like I'm, as a percussionist, like I similar motion, so I get it. But yeah, if I was a trumpet player and I took the piano class the way I took it, struggle busted, dude.
One of the coolest things I saw was when I was student teaching my my co-op, Rachel Davis, like I mentioned before, at Pioneer. She played 2 parts on the on the harmony director. I was like,
hold on,
why didn't I
learn that?
Why didn't I learn that,
bro? That was like
so stressed out when I saw that.
The choral technique class that we had to take as well.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Pat Fleming or Barbara Elliott? I don't remember who it was. Either way, shout out to both of them. Both fantastic teachers. I can't remember if it was choral techniques or if it was, what did we call it? Current Trends, the elementary music class.
Oh, okay.
But she was just like, she could do opposing solfege in the hands.
Oh.
A 2-part solfege in the hands at the same times. And I was just like, what? Huh? I'm over here like, dope. Ray. and she's over here, and she's like doing like the visual side of it as well.
And actually,
like the height's like
height, yeah.
So. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I actually don't know curb and hand signs.
Yeah, dude.
I don't.
For whatever reason, I decided I was gonna practice them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just like, well, here's my big thing. I think kind of relates back to what we were talking about with like skills versus like, I feel like in college it was all about knowledge.
Yeah.
It was all about just like, all right, learn this thing so you can vomit it back out on a quiz.
Yeah.
And or put it on a paper and then you're done. It's like we should have been developing like skills.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, and again, it's whose job is that?
Yeah, I think it's on
it's like is
the
it
student.
Is it your job as an educator at the college level, or is it your job as the kid learning about it? Like, but then also, I go back to my other theory of like my teaching philosophy is that you don't. How do I explain it? You don't know anything until I teach you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I assume, and that's why like my day one of marching band is always the same. Like, we're gonna talk about how to take the first step. I know 70% of you know how to take the first step, but I haven't taught it to you this year, so therefore I can't get mad at you for doing it wrong if I didn't reiterate it to you.
I see that. Okay.
You know what I mean? And oh jeez. my philosophy, my philosophy is obviously more dense than that singular sentence, but yeah, my philosophy on like, I just feel like I said that word too many times. Like getting angry at kids.
Yeah.
For like stuff that you didn't explain.
Right. Like
like that bothers me because I was one of those kids. Like, if you tell me what to do, I'm gonna take exactly what you told me to do.
Right.
So if you didn't explain it the way you wanted to, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I made it a really big point to be like, this is exactly what I want you to do. Okay, you didn't do exactly what I told you to. Now we got an issue.
I see. I mean, like my thing is, I mean, number one, like on that, like getting mad at like, I think feel like when band directors get mad, they're not getting mad at the kid. They're getting mad at themselves for not being able to teach them.
That's what they're getting mad at, but a good majority of them don't realize that that's what they're actually frustrated about.
They're just like, why isn't this working? Like,
well, it's because
you didn't
do
teach
it right.
Way. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that whole thing, and then there's also, like I also believe in like there's I need to teach you some things and like. But I also, one of my favorite experiences ever was this last year when I heard a kid in the first, it had to be like the second 6 weeks, because we finally got to the instrument.
Yeah. Shout out to that slow burn, baby. Slow burn.
And now we're about to do the Corona version of that. It's going to be
even dense. We're going to be even more dense.
Pressing that brake hard, going 2 miles per hour the whole time.
This is a reed. What is this called? A reed. All right, put the reed away. Get the reed back out. What is that called?
Super slow. But there's also I want them to be able to. Oh, yeah, that story. Heard a kid upstairs, one of the practice rooms, after school one day. One of my sixth graders.
Shout out.
She learned one of the tunes that we hadn't learned yet.
Really?
On her own.
Good for her. That's awesome.
But she had the skills to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, yes, I heard her clap and count it and note, name, figure it.
Did she?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Shout out to her.
And then I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's, like...
It worked.
Like, to me, that's what I want, like, my teaching to be. I could care less about, like, if they learn something. I could just be like, if they learned how to do it. Like, yeah. I'd much rather they just
I mean, that goes back to the other episode of.
Oh yeah,
the fundamental.
Yeah.
Which exactly, I stand by that process, and if anybody wants to come on and debate it with me, I would love to. I would love to get, like.
That'd be an interesting show.
Get somebody, and not even like in a hostile way, like, because I'm so rooted in that philosophy,
right,
that the other ones don't make as much sense to me. So if there's somebody out there that's like, nah, bro, like the what is that school called?
Talking about like Suzuki or
No,
something?
no. Like the like elementary education where they just kind of.
Orf.
No. Not
Kodai.
full, not music. Just elementary education.
LeBron, that's movement. That's dance.
I hate you.
I don't know.
There's a type of elementary where they don't learn like it's similar to Suzuki
Yeah.
in the sense where it's like you learn all the parts separately and then like in a year you realize that they're all connected.
Yeah.
But with this elementary, it's like it's not till like 7th grade.
Oof.
Yeah, but those kids, people that are about that style, like that's the only way it should be done because it's the most effective, and that's what they believe in. I'm curious to see like, how did you get there? How did you decide that that's the right way?
So wait, like, and like I feel like we'll have to have one of these people on here. So it's like almost like unexplained. Like
it's very like free flow. Like they let the kids do whatever they want. It's like,
right.
We're not going to tell you to do art. Just here's some paint.
Oh, those schools.
Go for it. Yeah. Very, like they have the bad rap of like very hippie.
Yeah.
Very flower child.
Montessori schools.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I think it's Montessori schools.
I'm thinking of I'm personally thinking of a very specific style, but I think that's kind of like the overall, like the blanket term. But yeah, these schools of where it's like, here's some things that you can do art with, but I'm not going to tell you that you're doing art until some point in time. Like, I know very little about it. I don't know how to explain it, but I know that like it's similar to the Suzuki thing where it's like, we're just going to do Mississippi hot dog for a year, and then you're going to know what a 16 note, 8th note rhythm is on the page. Yeah. Even then, I don't know what Suzuki really is. I just kind of assume.
Yeah, I mean, like Suzuki is one of those things that I've been meaning to like learn. I need to get Elena to teach me, like, cause she was like Suzuki like trained. I need to get her to, like Elena.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, she that's how she like does a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Shout out.
I feel like that's definitely like a string thing because it's like I don't know, because I feel like maybe that works for strings. It does work for band because you like can talk.
Maybe.
Like I don't know.
Maybe there's just not an effective person that understands it at that dense level.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's how everything goes, bro. Like, you don't know anything until someone decides that they're gonna know everything about it, and then they'll explain it to you. And unless you want to be that guy that dedicates the next 30 years of his life to this one thing, Yeah,
I still haven't found that thing. I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna be really into.
I don't know. Again, I don't think I have that personality trait. I don't have that addictive.
Right, the addictive personality. To be like, I'm
only gonna do this, and then maybe that's why I like percussion so much, is because
you get to jump.
You get that wide range of the classical, marching, Latin, jazz, hand drumming.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. I hate to cut this short, but I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
I haven't had a full meal today. I'm doing this, trying this different diet where I have like a 2,000 calorie shake in the morning.
Yeah.
And then like a protein, like a Greek yogurt. A couple hours later, a banana, and then a protein bar, and then a full meal for dinner. I feel good throughout the day, but damn, like my body's very much like
it's kind of eating itself.
It's time to eat, bro. Let's munch.
We haven't eaten, All right.
But as always, man, appreciate having you on. Again, as always, this is a conversation that is definitely going to come back around.
Yeah.
I mean, any final thoughts on what did we talk about? We talked about professionalism, education, things that you wish you learned.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on anything like that, man?
No, not right now. Yeah,
not right now. We'll get to it next time.
Yeah.
Word. Appreciate y'all being with us. Hope y'all stay easy. Peace.